Good morning, guys. Paul DeAngelis from Total Balance and CrossFit Endurance. Talking again about the ketogenic diet. Today, what I'd like to chat a little bit about is just going outside food we put into our mouth. Because this is something that I stress to a lot of people right at the beginning. So, we've talked about macronutrients. We've talked about measuring blood glucose, blood ketones. We've even talked about then once blood sugar, blood glucose starts to stabilize and we're producing ketones, and we've made this shift to fat adaptation, about increasing the macro tolerances or going out and finding that sweet spot. So increasing the carbohydrates, finding how that affects the blood, and that's a very individual thing. Something else that's really individual and really needs to be talked about is our environment. And when I'm talking about environment, I'm talking about stressors. So let's talk a little bit about how much sleep a person gets. So if they're dialing in their macros and their blood glucose is still deviating from the ranges I was talking about, they're not producing ketones, you got to ask some hard questions of yourself. And these are questions that I ask of anybody that I would consult with as well, is, how much sleep you getting? What's your work environment? What's your family dynamics, your family relationships? If these are full of a lot of stressors, no matter how you dial in the food, you're still gonna have problems. You might never even adapt. And that's actually a very common thing. And it just shows us this world we put ourselves into, where we are just constantly thinking. There's so much going on. We're getting this information so fast that we never have time to kind of settle down. So now, so much is talked about with the circadian rhythms and going to bed, when the sun goes down, and then waking up when the sun comes up. So of course we have a relationship with this. This is part of our nature, and we have to respect that. So if you're up late and you're on your phone, on computer, watching TV, Netflix, so on and so forth, and you're really going to hinder your development. So this video today is really take a look at what surrounds you, okay? Your work environment. Are you sitting all day? Do you get a chance to move around? I'm not even talking about exercise or training right now. I'm actually talking about what you do on a daily basis outside of what you put in your mouth. Okay, so really take a look at that, how much sleep you get. And don't look at how much sleep you get, look at the quality of the sleep you get. Okay, because that plays a big role of it. Now, going into this fat adaptation, cutting the carbs down, increasing the fat, producing ketones, this will all help with your sleep patterns. One thing I don't want to do is when I'm talking with somebody that really lacks, let's say, in sleep, is not put too much stress on them. So if I'm saying you got to get sleep, and you got to get more sleep, and you got to get more sleep, that's actually gonna hinder them because I'm putting stress on them. Not something I want to do. So you can look at an easy segue into these aspects. So as you're starting to cut your macros down, your protein and your carbs, and increase the fat, so going towards that baseline, look at what surrounds you. And as you start measuring blood glucose and blood ketones, keep looking at what surrounds you and start making little changes. So when your body starts making this shift to the fat adaptation, you've already put the environment into place that's going to help you become successful in this fat adaptation. Because I can't stress this enough, too many people say it doesn't work without ever giving it due diligence. And what I mean by that is following the guidelines that I've outlined in the past videos, but looking at the environment. We think it's just so inclusive to the food that we eat, and that everything should regulate from there, and everything should adapt from there. But that's nowhere near the case. Look at your environment, look at what surrounds you, look at the stressors. And again, why is this important? Well, if you're not going to get rid of these stressors, think about that. They're stressors to you. They're actually undermining your success. They're undermining your ability to thrive. Then if you can get rid of that at some point and make these changes, then you're putting yourself in a position to thrive. Okay? So just a little quick video for you guys today. Look outside the box. Don't just look at the obvious. Look at the intangible, because they will really add to your success or failure in this. All right, so Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Paul DeAngelis, for the weekly videos on the ketogenic diet. And check out I just launched a new website, pauldeangelisperformance.com. Everything that I put together. And if you look at that website, you know, it really is an all-encompassing approach, not just to training or nutrition, but to so many other aspects that play a big role in your success. All right, so that's this week's video. Thanks.